there, a little late to the stream today, but gonna continue coding the multiplayer system, and where I left off last week, right, was I think I forgot, but let's fire up the. Where is my multiplayer package? I think I probably have to reopen project. So let's wait for the project to load, and then begin. It's been a really busy day today. I was catching up with marking my students' work, so it took me a while before I could come online. But I managed it, and I think we have a good 2 hours of coding here. Let's see where we get today. So I think where I left off in the last stream, right, was I was trying to get the projectiles to spawn properly, and I think I was coding a function to generate to spawn projectiles in the network, because now they are not synchronized to the network, which is a bit of a problem. So I've been moving things forward in this project just by looking at the errors on the console and fixing them one by one from there. So that's what I'll be looking at here as well. I'll be continuing this this exact thing that I'm doing. Let's begin from the multiplayer scene. So right now, when I get weapons, the projectiles are not spawning right, and it's partially because over here there's something happening here, which is, let's have a look at this. Where did I leave off last week? Because it's not normal that the objects are all spawning so quickly like this. So I have a spawn function here, and that's what I'm planning to use. Spawn the objects. So the spawn manager has recently been replaced, so it just uses spawn function now, which is a little bit of a problem because I need a spawn function to work right, and let me just pull up the ChatGPT that I was having running in here. Where is it? I think it was somewhere last week, right? Let's search for Unity. Filter out. Check object into report. The spawn manager is the problem here. So if I can get it to work, then I can get everything else to work. I feel I'm very close, but I'm also... It's probably gonna take a little bit of tinkering to work this out. So what I have here is need for the spawn function to be the one generating everything instead of having the instantiate function be the one working. Client asks the server, spawn this prefab at this position. So I think a spawn manager, because it only runs on clients, right? I don't actually have to have it do. I can just have this guy. So the spawn manager doesn't run if we're on the server. In that case, it can actually be destroyed on the client. Anyway, I don't need this check as well, because it simply runs on the server. What I need to do is, how do I do the spawning? Because the weapons will have to spawn on the client themselves. Okay. Sync. Server authoritative by design. Oh, even a proc effect needs to be done on the network. This is it's a bit of a problem. So I can't spawn an object like this. I have to do it some other way instead.
With Premium, you get to focus on the music, explore a vast catalog of millions of songs without hearing ads, or download your playlists to listen to them anywhere. You can also play your favorite songs in any order with the freedom to skip forward and backward as much
So I
as
have
you
to
like.
spawn the game manager. The game manager will ping
Tap the banner to learn more.
the object back. So the spawn basically only can call spawn server RPC. Can't do anything else with it. You can think of a way to prop the effect as well. I think that's the other challenge that I'll have. Is how do I get effects to play? I think this has been it's been a really effortful thing. Didn't expect it to be as difficult as it is to turn this project multiplayer. I thought it'd be much easier. So if the server is to be the one to instantiate the spawning, that means that how do I send cannot send a prefab object. Let's same. Server, all clients, all platform. So Singleton has his spawn manager. Work. Hey Frank, it's been a good couple of months. Yeah, so I recently, by recently I mean a few months ago, released a new update for the Metroidvania series, and now I'm back on the Vampire Survivors one, figuring out how to do the networking system for the game. This is a really long one because It's much harder than I thought. I was thinking it could be done in a much shorter time, but I'm mistaken. No, that network. What have you been up to, Frank? What's 4 same prefabs? This is a public variable. So I want to check what GPT is telling me is to check the prefabs list. Line 1. Add all spawnables to the prefab list. NGO assigns each one with a unique hash. ID automatically. You can also register in. Oh! Damn. So that's how it works. So all the projectiles are inside as well. What is override? So these are all the network prefabs. How do I get that? Let me go into So I'll need to grab the prefab, check the list, and insert the hash. So the spawn function is going to do a different thing if we are the server as opposed to if we are the client. If we are the server, then we'll do one set of things. Otherwise, if we're the client, then we'll otherwise we'll have to check the ID of the prefab. This. We need a link. We need link system. I've got to use link. I can do a to list. So from here, I'm able to send the prefab ID. this is it's not good. The more I work on this for the projectiles, right, the more confused I get. Perhaps it's a planning thing. I've got to think about it in a different way. But I seem to have broken the spawner as well. I mean, the enemies are easy to replicate, but the weapons, man, that's tricky as hell to do. And I think that might be because so I think one thing I've got to figure out as well is why is this not working? Spawn manager, target component, spawn this. So the thing is that for now the server weapons they spawn fine, but the client's weapons are not working. Okay. Server's weapons are being replicated over, not the client. And I've also got to fix the enemy movement. Clients don't. So we definitely want to remove this guy. bad. Doesn't have to be network. Why isn't move? Why isn't the move function moving? I mean, isn't he supposed to be moving since there is update function that's firing? Why is that? Move is firing, right? Why isn't it moving, man? Is it because it's missing a player or whatever it is? Like the bat's just suddenly shut down and it's frustrating because I can't figure out why bat isn't moving. Does it not have a player? It has a player, right? And why is it not moving? Is it because it doesn't have what is the actual issue here? So the bat doesn't have a rigid body, which I thought I saw a rigid body in a bat. I mean, even if it doesn't have rigid body, it should be moving, right? I mean, then it's using this transform dot position to move, and it's not moving still. I mean, it's just stupid, you know, like dealing with these small problems. Everything was working fine, and then when I changed it to multiplayer, everything just breaks. stupid. It's a waste of time, man. So the move function is firing, and then what's wrong with that? I mean, what's wrong with the... So is it a move speed problem, or what is it? Like, what the hell is it? And to test one thing, it takes like 5 minutes. Like, every time I update the code, it takes like a minute to compile, and it takes a minute to test it out. And now we see that the stat of the enemy is what, 0? That it has 0 move speed. Maybe that's why. It has a move speed of 1, right? And why is it not moving? Why is the actual move speed 0?
Can't get enough of your song of the moment? Download and indulge in the tracks you love over and over again with Spotify Premium. Tune in to discover an ad-free music listening experience where you can play your favorites in any order. Tap the banner to learn more.
Goodness. So is it because of the change to the actual stats? I think my problem is just that I haven't designed this with networking in mind to begin with, and that's causing a lot of problems with this project. Is there any component that is client server running background, spawn timeout, recall version. Always start. Is there an auto start? Where is the auto start option? There's no auto start option. See any option like that? Allow. So by doing distributed authority, I can now have the client spawn stuff. That would be that would make me feel a lot better. Remote. Yeah. Image is not there. this distributor authority thing allows me to create stuff in the client. Then I don't have to rely on the client sending the server a RPC call. I can just have the client manage its own weapons and sending, and of course send. What the hell, man? Still not working. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. How do I start a host? So where are the enemies now? I thought I'm starting the game already. So now they can't move. Great. Dealing with networking is a serious test of my patience, man. What the hell is wrong with this thing, man? I mean, it's just... So now they are networked objects, and just testing my damn patience. Seriously, man. So where are my bets now? It's gone. So my other window is not able to show the correct animation now because of me having multiple services. I'll just use it anyway. Join a different session. 9 nm. What the heck? Transform has been destroyed, but you are still trying to access it. Where is this coming from? Why? Screws. Now why? I mean, now the first join fails, man. This is just you know how frustrating this is. So after some time, what, like the bat goes, or like the bat disappears, or something. Like what is wrong with the bat? Hi Yan, thanks for dropping in and giving the super thanks. As you can see, I'm pretty pissed with whatever I'm working on right now, but you have just made my day with the super thanks. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I mean, I'm trying to figure out why this damn thing doesn't just work with both the network version and the non-network version. Like I have to change my whole code base just to support the network version, and that's just the most frustrating thing. I mean, even with small things, right? Like having a script work concurrently on both when I'm connected versus when I'm not. It just doesn't work, man. So let me know what I can do for you, if any. For the $5 that you have given. It's it's fair trade, isn't it? If you have a request, let me know. Are you working on any project right now? Like, are you working on games? Are you a programmer? What do you do? So we'll wait for a while for the bats to disappear, because after the bat disappears, then after the bats pan out of the camera, like we suddenly get a bunch of errors. I'm not sure why that's the case. Or maybe it's just because I'm it only happens when I connect to a new. Maybe it only happens when I connect to a new host. Or maybe, you know, I should I should keep the unnetworked bed and find a way to work around that. You're making a controller game, right? What's a controller game? You mean a game that runs on, like, with a PS4 controller? The new input system is, are you using a new input system or the old? Because recently I've given it a try, and well, it's very robust, but I think the new input system is also very it's designed to accommodate every situation, which actually makes it hard to use, ironically. The old one was more restrictive, but it was also more straightforward. It was really simple. And it makes me think that, after 2020, it seems like the leadership of Unity, they just changed. And I mean, the design, the design of these new Unity modules is so different from the old one. The old one was simple and it was stable. And the newer features they've added after 2020 are all harder to use and unstable as well. Just in a short span of 5 years, it's pretty crazy how much Unity has changed, Have you gone to Reddit and seen, like, when I first was picking up, because I teach game programming, right? So I had to pick up the new input system. And when I first went about picking it up, I found it to be the most frustrating thing. But then when I went on Reddit, everyone was saying like, "Oh, this is so good. It's very flexible." But I didn't think that at all. I mean, after understanding how it works, I feel a little better. I feel a little more positive towards the new system, but I still think that they could have done a much better job. And because I have an asset that supports, I have a virtual joystick asset on the Unity Asset Store. So I've decided to support the joystick on the. I decided to support a new input system in my asset, and it was pretty difficult to get it to work properly there. So yeah, I think it's pretty confusing to use as well. Yeah, stop prompting me about this. So I think if I implement this network system, that means that when I play this game on single player, I'll have to make sure that a host is properly started on this. Otherwise, just it wouldn't work. How do you create object pooling to recycle objects instead of instantiating? That is a I mean there is no singular way, but the most immediate way is to have some kind of spawn manager. I mean personally I don't have an object pooling system in this game, but one very simple mechanism I used was for my enemies, right? I actually in the movement script have a flag over here, and this flag in the movement script, right, controls what happens when the enemy goes out of frame. So in a way this is object pooling because it basically when the enemy moves out of the camera, it just respawns the enemy at the edge of the camera again. And that works in this script works in tandem with the spawn manager, because in the spawn manager there is a function called is within boundaries, and this boundaries function actually checks whether the enemy is in frame, and if it's in the frame, it just stays where it is, but if it's out of the frame, then it respawns the enemy somewhere else. So if this is just for the enemies, if you want to do the same thing for, let's say, spell effects, you would do it an entirely different way, and you would use an array that stores like all these effects and then hides them when they are not used. I personally don't use a lot of object pooling because I find them to be quite messy. So if I use any kind of object pooling, it's just like I don't like to store an array of effects and then move them around. I've always had a resistance to it. I'm not sure why. So this is the only object pooling script that I have in this project. If you want to check it out, I can give you a Patreon membership, and you can. I'm not sure if you already are. If you already are Patreon, if you're not, you can drop me in. So you can drop me a message on our contact us page, and I will give you a Patreon subscription for a month as thanks for the donation that you have given. And this Patreon membership will allow you to access, because the script that I just talked about is actually accessible from here. If you head over to the enemy spawning system article here, it's locked behind Patreon, but once you have the membership, you can access it. And then you can check it out and you can let me know what you think. I personally just think that instantiating objects is just much easier to deal with than creating a separate set of scripts to handle the instant, like the pooling for me. I hope my answer makes sense. It's a little all over the place. Okay, I have half an hour more for the stream. I'm hoping I can get this thing working where, because now I've changed my project to use distributed authority, I was hoping that I can get the projectile spawns to work on the client as well. Man, if that works, right, I'm gonna pop champagne today. Man, it's just the most frustrating thing. So now I have an error with mob event data because it was using the spawn function, which I need to retire now. And I need to try something similar to whatever we see here. Mob event data. At least the bat's now flying around again. And let's see if the mobs work. You know, working on networking has felt like doing crypto trading, because when I traded crypto, it was I always found it very frustrating. Hey, hold on. Now the player is actually spawning everything a-okay. So all I had to do was just change the authority mode to distributed authority. Was that all that was needed? Because now everything works. Oh, no, now it doesn't work anymore. But it was working for a while there. Like the second player was now spawning everything. Was now spawning his projectiles fine. And I think it was just because of the way I was designing stuff just now. So I spent 2 hours to make 1 step of progress. That's incredible, man. So now the second player is spawning the projectiles correctly. Well, except that well, this is progress, very least. So I can spawn and I can create it on the network as well. Alright, permission for this client instance not allowed. I should just let the owner set the health, right? So that will eliminate one error, and the projectiles are finally synced. So the next thing I would have to go for is to fix the other errors. Hopefully, so when play 2 levels up, actually the program still breaks. So I've got to figure out why. But all in all, pretty satisfying progress. After 1.5 hours of raging, I'm finally getting somewhere. So the moral of the story is that raging works. And sometimes you just gotta get pissed at life for it to give you what you want. You throw a tantrum and the universe rewards you for it. It's the moral of the lesson. I mean, moral, what am I saying? Moral of, it's the moral of the story. So, the level up screen is something that I'll have to figure out next. Because I'm not sure what's going on there, like that whenever I level up, then player 2 breaks, you know. But if this works, you know, I can start testing multiplayer on the game itself. DPWM8R. And maybe I can also test to see whether this works on WebGL. And the strange thing is that when one person levels up, it seems like everyone levels up together.
Download and bring your music anywhere so you can dance to
Why
your
does that happen?
music without hearing ads. Mix up your playlists
I think
with
for us to figure that out, we have to
or take total control of your listening with our
check out where is the experience points, where the experience points stored.
banner to get started.
So when the player collects the gem, then the gem adds to the player experience. So the question is, do they have the same experience points? Because both players are supposed to have different experience points. They shouldn't be sharing the same level up interface. I mean, we can globally pause the game. BH and BH. When one player levels up. So I have player 1, and player 1 has how much experience? Player 1 is level 2 now, 0 experience. Does that mean player 2 is at the same level? And player 2 is level 1, so the issue is that when one player levels up, then it starts the level up experience. Starts the level up checker for both. Level up checker. And there is that update EXP bar. Player stats is on both players. So the simple thing to do is just to hide it behind whether we are the owner of the object or not. If we're not the owner of the player, then there is no need for us to show the level up. I've got to figure out why the level up screen is not working for the other character. And I think it's probably just a simple case of misassign variables on the level screen itself. I think probably somewhere in the game there are references to player 1 where there should be references to player 2, and that is why we are getting the errors that we're getting. Here we have two players with worthless weapons, and that's why no damage is being done. No, I'm not using quad 3 pathfinding. I'm not using any kind of pathfinding at all in this project. So pathfinding is the pathfinding algorithms I've used. I shouldn't even say algorithms. I should just say the pathfinding algorithm singular. The one that I use is simply the nav mesh system that Unity has, and that only works on 3D. So I've got networking working. I can control both player 1 and player 2. And player 1 levels up fine, but player 2 doesn't really. The screen just glitches out when level 2 levels up, and I'm trying to figure out what the issue is here before I end the stream. I was stuck for 1.5 hours. I was so pissed because I was thinking today there'd be no progress, but I'm glad there's a step forward in the right direction. So this remove and apply updates, remove and apply upgrades function may be applying itself to the wrong object, which is what is causing the player to UI to break. Remove and apply upgrade. Reverse apply upgrade. Apply upgrade options. Or maybe it's the player inventory in player 2 that's breaking. Let's check out the available weapons on player 2. Why do you have frozen knife? Knife is frozen. At least it died after a while. So let's level up. Oh, I was supposed to check when. Supposed to check the player inventory. See if all the items that are supposed to be there are there, and they're there. So the level up screen not working. It's something I've got to figure out. What's the deal with this? So for player 2, you'll see like when I level up, not like it just breaks. Like the screen doesn't work. How can I test the performance of this project? Well, you can become a Patreon, you can grab the source files, and you can play the game, and you can see how that plays out. So you can grab the entire project if you just become a Patreon. And you can check out our Patreon page. The downloads are all there. Okay, the other players here. So why are the upgrade options not applying properly for the I'm just testing on player 2 to see if there are any upgrade options that are generated for player 2. I cannot work out why these errors are there. So I want the other player to level up. And so it appears that apply upgrade options doesn't run. Oh. So that is something that is pretty curious. So I've got to check out the game manager on the other player to see what's going on. Which I can't do. Is there any way for me to show debug options here? Here's on. Unless I use player 2 as the host and player 1 as the client. Then we can see what's really going on. Q7 7P. Seems like the more problems I fix, the more problems appear. So at least now we know the issue, and the issue is that the apply upgrade options doesn't fire. Doesn't fire on player 2. And that is why the UI doesn't. God damn it. And then there's a ton of errors as well. You know? It's pretty demoralizing to see all of this stuff. There. So we add the player stats on the client side. Hopefully that gets the list updated on the client as well. And then which by extension means that we'll get the level up screen player 2. Counting on that to work. And then we gotta fix the camera issue on player 2 as well. Balls, man. Bollocks. So let's see whether player 2 is able to level up properly now with the correct setup. No, still not able to do that. Man, I thought I added the player. So when we spawn players in the server, oh, that's because this isn't fire. Spawn player. Where is this called? It's called somewhere, right? I mean, otherwise, how would the camera know who to follow? Must be caught somewhere. Right, scrap gemstone. Hey, now it works. It works on player 2 as well. Player 2 is able to level up. Now I've got to get the inventory to work, but this is progress, man. This is great progress. Very happy today. I would love to work on this further tonight, but I have some student work to mark, so we'll see if I can find time across the week to work on this further. But I'm really happy with the progress I got in 2 hours that I had this project. So thanks for the super thanks by Yentex, and I'll do the stream again next week, and unless I can find time over the course of this week. Thank you very